Hi, and welcome to Worlds Collide. I am your host, Victoria, and this is the podcast where I talk to people who moved abroad. Before I start, I have to apologize. In this intro, my neighbors are getting a new roof, so I am sure you're gonna hear some of the construction outside. Okay, so before I start, always, if you're a new listener, welcome. I hope you stay for the whole episode, and if you really like this podcast, then don't forget to push the follow button in the corner of your app, and so you always be notified if there is a new episode coming out. And I also worked a little bit on the YouTube channel, so if you want to subscribe on YouTube and see the whole video to this, it's a little bit more raw than this edited audio, but check it out. It's at Worlds Collide too. Okay? Yeah, and of course, I would love if you push the subscribe button there as well. Now I'm coming to today's guest. My guest is Stea, and he is originally from Portugal, but he moved to England to study. But now he decided to become a comedian. So we talk a lot about the comedy scenes between Portugal and England, and also how the humor works between the two cultures, and of course what he really likes about England and the culture there. All right, check it out. Here's Stea. All right, my guest today is Stea. Hi, how are you today?
Fine. How are you?
I'm good too. And thanks for being on my podcast. Thanks for reaching out. So tell me, where are you right now?
I'm in England, in the UK.
Okay, you're in England. And where are you from originally?
From Portugal, a small town in the north of Portugal.
Ah, okay. All right. And why did you decide to move to England?
The beginning was because of studies, which ended
Uh-huh.
up me not enjoying that much and trying to pursue comedy, which is hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Because because I went for something not related to comedy. I went for law. So it's
Oh,
always a different background from entertaining people
I
and
mean,
has
it's
my
like so different. It's like super serious.
yeah. And as my parents say, it's like you went from being serious and having a real job to being a clown. I'm like, yep, sure,
Yeah.
whatever.
All right, well, fair. That's a fair question. But as long as you enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah.
And how long have you been in England now?
It's around 6 years now.
Oh, okay. Was that the plan?
Not really. I didn't even have the plan to come here in the first place, but I just enjoy the culture and I felt welcome.
Hmm. And why is the culture? Why do you enjoy the culture? What is it about that you like so much?
I don't know if it was because I grew up in a small town in Portugal. I always like very restrict what I could do
Mm-hmm.
before like people talking about you or oh he's doing that, and when you move aside and no one knows you, it's just
That's
like a
nice.
different culture. It's just you feel that it's like, oh, finally I'm free to do whatever I want, to be whatever
Mm-hmm.
I want, instead of
Yeah.
having those restrictions.
Right. And how small was the small town?
Small as the point that everyone knows everyone. You go out
Okay.
of the street and there's like, oh, that's the son of
Yeah.
XYZ, or yeah.
Yeah, it's where I grew up, it's a small town of like 300. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Everybody knows what underwear you're wearing, kinda. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. And so I mean, I understand completely that it's nice if you move to a place where nobody knows you. And so did you decide then to move to London or
I'm moving to London soon, but I decided to, like, the first year I was near the north of London, but not in London itself.
Mhm.
And then I moved to the total opposite, sort of, that was the south of the UK, Portsmouth. That is really
Mhm.
the end of the south. And now, because comedy and entertainment is all near London, I'm
Right.
trying to go near London again.
Try. So tell me a little bit like how long how long did you study, and then when you decided to be a comedian?
I finished my studies like this year. I'm finishing, but I just like at the first time I started in law, then I didn't enjoy, and I went for cybersecurity,
Oh wow,
which
okay.
is like, oh, do you want something more complicated a little bit? Yes, sure. Let's change to something else. And because I didn't truly enjoy the law thing. I gave it a try, but I think it was because, and this is a short story, people are always fascinated by like the crime documentaries, like that sort of stuff. And I was like, I
Yeah.
really want to do something regarding that. And then I saw the work and I'm like, nope, this is too much. I can't
Okay.
deal with this.
What kind of
Uh,
law did you then end up doing?
criminology in
Okay. Oh,
regards,
but
yeah.
that sounds super interesting though.
Yeah, but it was so much to memorize. I'm like, yeah, I don't have the brain to
Okay.
memorize so much
Oh
names.
well, it already sounds like you have a big brain. Like with all the stuff you're doing, for sure.
I just like it's different from doing like shows and you have like small things to like memorize the names of all the cases and defendants. I was like, yeah, I barely know my housemates. I just call everyone by you just to not mistake their names. It's
Okay.
like, yeah.
It's too much, too many names.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I have just this question, like when you study a law in England, can you also presume it somewhere else, or you're just like then stuck in England with it?
From what I know, I think is you get stuck in England
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're just studying the laws of that country.
Right. That's what I thought. And were you aware of that when you moved there?
I didn't have too much prospects back in my country because the way that you get to like a degree in law or something is very demanding, and I didn't have the resources to get into.
Hmm.
So I was just like, when I knew about the UK and the opportunity, I was like, oh, maybe it's a nice start. Let's try.
Sure.
So that was my go-to. I didn't even thought of like pursuing further studies back in Portugal, but that opportunity appeared, and I was like, yeah, why not? Seems great.
Why not? Okay, why not just leave everything behind and then move to England? Sure. So, and now you're stuck in England forever?
Yes, I hope. I would love to.
Okay, I mean it's nice because at least, well, I don't even know because it was Brexit.
Hmm.
So, legally, can you?
Yeah, I didn't have any problems because first because of being European and
Mhm.
the good relationship that Portugal has with England, that also
Mhm.
helped. So when I applied, I got everything. I got the visa. I didn't got like the student visa. I got straight to the normal visa.
Ah, uh-huh.
So yeah, I never got any problems with the Brexit.
Okay, yeah, you will be just there. It's fine. And what when you got there, what was for you the biggest difference?
I think was like that culture that I mentioned before. That was like coming from a warm culture that everyone knows you to like a cold one, and I'm like, I truly enjoy this of people not talking to me, and I just
Being ignored?
yeah, I enjoy just being left alone most of the times.
Uh-huh.
So coming from a country that like is very welcome, and if anyone goes to Portugal, is very welcome, is very warming, to like then is like, oh yeah, I'm just minding my own business. I was like, I enjoy this. This is weird, but I enjoy this.
Okay. And anything else that you really liked?
I think was in regards to that. The rest was just like more of the same. People are
Mhm.
kind of the same sociological and psychological, so it's just a question of adapting yourself to the surroundings.
Mhm. Were you also comfortable speaking English in the beginning?
No, that was one of the challenges because what I learned in Portugal was like the basics in school, and I never thought of moving out of Portugal, so I
Right,
never
right.
really cared of learning more. And then the first day, and that's funny, the first day I came, I went straight to like an introduction of the campus, university campus, and that sort of stuff. And the person starts talking to me, introducing everything, and I'm like, "Yep, I don't understand anything. I need
Uh-huh.
subtitles." Where do I press the subtitles? I'll be screwed. I'll be screwed. They talk English and I don't understand. Fair enough.
But that's funny because then you went there to study and you didn't understand a word.
No, I had like the thing in me that I always did. That is when I can't do anything, I put a lot of effort to try
Uh-huh.
to master. So I went through a lot of reading. I listened to a lot of podcasts, trying to get the sounds and trying to get familiar with it.
Okay. You studied really hard then.
Yeah.
And how long did it take you to be more comfortable?
Probably 4 or 5 months, I would say.
Okay, not too bad. And were you scared of writing your first exams in English?
I was more scared of not understanding what they were asking when
Yeah,
they
exactly.
not writing, but more like in terms of they would ask something in person and they was like, yeah, not sure what you said.
Uh-huh.
Because if was in a written exam, I was like, I can read, I'm fine with
Yeah,
reading, but like the accent was,
right. The accent was a problem.
yeah.
Did you had a problem adapting to the weather?
No, I enjoy it. I don't enjoy like summertime, so I enjoy like the cold weather or like just gray. I'm like, yeah, that fits me. It's like I think it's the same as I said before with the people. It's just like I enjoy that gray culture of like, yeah, you don't talk to me. The weather is gray. That's fine. If it doesn't rain, I'm perfectly fine with this.
I'm surprised that you actually wear a green t-shirt. It sounds like you like gray and like whatever, no colors, cold. And what about like the traffic, for example? Did you ever like
I just I didn't drive yet around in this country, so I just go
Mm.
in public transport.
But did you ever walk into the wrong direction when you cross the street?
Yeah, plenty of times. I still look at both. I'm like, to make sure I will look at both.
Yeah, yeah. And but is there anything that you miss from Portugal?
I would say my family, most of it.
Yeah.
And the food too. Food in Portugal is very good.
Uh-huh.
But mostly the family. Everyone is there. I came here alone, so
Okay. And but do you like the British food? Do you have like a favorite food?
that's
Cuz
hard.
because you just said you like everything gray and plain, and so I guess it sounds like the food should be
I
up your
don't
alley.
mind the food, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite. I would say
Uh-huh.
you eat in extreme weathers, but just to be honest, I enjoy like how do you say, like not very salty food or just like very basic. So it kind of blends in sort of way. So I don't try to put too many condiments. I just enjoy very, yeah, very basic.
Yeah,
I was trying to find the words in my vocabulary, but was like, yeah, it's not coming out.
it's fine. I mean, because I mean, everybody's always complaining about the British cuisine. That's why I was like, but maybe you have something that you really like.
I feel like the British cuisine, from what I see, is every country because they steal from every country. So it's a bit of like Asian, Japanese. I'm like, it's not exactly just a culture. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna grab this and tell that is mine. So it's a
Okay,
bit that, and I'm like, I'm fine with that because I can go for Italian and pretend
right.
it's
I mean, you
English
can
food.
always go for Italian, right? Since you went there for studying, I always imagine that you didn't have a problem making friends.
I always had a problem making friends because as it sounds weird because I'm a comedian and I do comedy, I do live shows, but I always been an introvert person, so I just I'm not easy to make friends. I don't enjoy
Uh-huh.
small talk. So every time that someone starts with small talk, I'm like, I already hate you. So yeah,
Okay.
you're not gonna be part of my inner circle of friends. So it's very hard for me to make friends unless it's like someone that I can have a normal conversation and it's not just like how is the weather. I'm like just go see it by yourself.
Right. Okay, but did you live with roommates then in the beginning? Did you move into like the
Yes.
university dorms?
No, just a house with roommates. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So did you become friends with them?
I wouldn't say friends, but I used to live with them. But I think that's the best word. Is
Okay.
like, yeah, tolerance
Well,
and patience.
oh God, you're like the weird roommate.
I don't. I wouldn't call weird. I would be on my space, but it's just like,
Uh-huh.
yeah, just be in your side, do your
No,
things,
that's
don't
fine.
bother me. Yeah,
Yeah. But for me, comedians, I mean, yeah, of course, like when you're on the stage, you're always like super outgoing, right? It seems
yeah,
like you are an extrovert and yeah, don't have a problem with any of that. But I have a few comedian friends and they're also like struggling with anxiety or, like super shy or like anything that you really don't expect from a person
yeah.
that goes in front of people on a stage.
Yeah, and especially the social anxiety. Most people don't think that like a comedian has social anxiety because you're putting yourself all the
Right.
time in front of people. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't know why I just pretend I'm another person. I'm a different person, and there is that character. And then I leave that, and I'm like, yeah, just don't talk to me, please. This is weird.
This is but yeah, I mean, maybe it's just like another outlet or something.
It is. I think so.
And how long have you been doing the comedy?
3 years.
You're still in Portsmouth?
Yes.
Uh-huh. And so how is the comedy scene there?
It started great. Now it's a little bit down the hill. Not the best. It's like the
Why?
weather. It's sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's like, yeah, why am I doing this to myself? But no, it's just promoters left to off doing shows here, so they went other places because wasn't a guarantee of having a good show. People just it's more of a low social class, let's put that way. So people in that end don't appreciate that much going to comedy shows.
Okay, so you wouldn't have like a big crowd that
Exactly.
coming to like um a comedy club, I
Yes.
imagine? Yes. Okay, or is it like an open mics or any of that?
A bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, they stopped doing a little bit, and now it's just once a month, a night that is going regularly.
Okay.
But was before was to more than that, but they just saw that wasn't a point of
Right. Okay. So you don't have like the audience and then they
no.
don't make any money because they're not selling any drinks.
Yeah.
Right. Do you do anything besides comedy?
I try to create content online. I enjoy doing vlogging, so and I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy hiking and do long walks. So I try to, on my walks and hikings, try to record as much content and then put together editing and put out there for
Okay.
the
And
enjoys.
for the listeners, where can they look? Where can they find you?
YouTube on Stea Productions.
Stea Productions. Okay. I make sure that I will put this in the show notes so people can just click on it and then they find you. But you just have to send me the link.
Okay, no worries.
How often do you visit Portugal home?
Every time I can, but sometimes it's difficult. So it's just at least once a year. I try at
Oh, I
least
mean,
once a year.
okay, so this is not even like that often because I always think like in Europe everything is so close.
It's just because I'm doing so much shows, it's hard to like, oh, I'm just gonna leave on doing shows to then visit my parents, and then it's like if I want to go there, or either I book shows there and I try to do there, as I
Uh-huh.
did the summer of 2023, and but it really depends. It depends. I don't like. I'm a little bit of workaholic in terms of content and comedy, so I don't like living from performing on stage to just go visit and stay there a couple of days. I just like want to be on stage all the time, entertaining
Okay.
people.
And would you say though the British comedy and the Portuguese comedy they work together? Like do they have the same do they think the same things are funny?
I think it depends on people, but the Portuguese are still like new to stand-up comedy, still in the first
Ah,
steps. So
okay.
it's still hard to implement like surreal comedy there. But in here is more easy, like, and the USA as well.
Yeah, it's
It's been
big.
for a long time. So
But I mean, so there's this one comedian. He is French, and I just heard like one podcast about him. He is like super big in France. I don't know his name, but he fills like big, big like concert halls. And then he tried to do his same show in the US. So he just translated his jokes,
hmm.
and nobody thought he was funny. So I was just wondering if you would have the same problem.
I had the same problem because when I did the shows in the summer, in that summer, I at the beginning I tried to translate and I had a hard time, but then I was like, oh, I have stories too, so I'm gonna just create a new story about my life, about living abroad, and trying to make this funny in Portuguese, or even the sets in English that I did as well. So I think it's a question of adapting, not just doing the same sets translated, because it loses a lot in the translation, but trying
Hmm.
to adapt to the culture. And
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's probably important. We already talked about the cultural differences that you liked. Is there a cultural differences that you didn't get used to?
I don't think so. I think I mold myself easily to my environment, so I just try to adapt to anything.
So there's nothing that's bothering you?
There is a lot that bothering me, but I think that wouldn't be in the case of like, oh, I'm living in England on just Portugal, whatever. It's just people in general bothers me. So it's just like
Okay.
so that could be everywhere. It's just no matter the country. It's just certain things that people do that is like maybe small details that annoys me, and I always try to make a bit out of it. I try to make jokes for
Right.
comedy.
Okay.
So
So what do you usually talk about in your comedy?
I try to be very surreal. I try to go to like the abstract concepts, but I also try to implement a bit of stories with that. And even recently, like in a short special that I launched, I talked about online dating, how weird it is, and I try to like fit the abstract concepts in there,
Uh-huh.
because I don't enjoy just going blend on it, just like very basic. I try to go very abstract and try to make something unique about the topic.
Okay, and would you say, like, for example, if you talk about dating, that dating is different in the cultures that you live in?
Yeah, especially in my small town, I wouldn't need dating apps. I would just like call my mom, is like, just get me somewhere. You know everyone, just talk to people. You like talking.
But I mean, like, you also can just go to the next town, right? And like
Yeah,
whatever. And but
but
you
that
still know everyone there.
yeah, but in the next town, my mom wouldn't have the contact, so it'd be good for my mom to like, oh, just
Okay, so
yeah,
this is like very old school.
yeah. So yeah, I try like online dating for a bit, and I just feel it's not for me, because I don't blend with the mentality of just like small talk, and I feel that is a lot of small talk to try to
Mm.
book. And every time that something, I just try to go very philosophical, and then they ghost me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, okay, fair enough.
That was okay, so you try the opposite of that. You know, like you don't go in soft, you already go like, all right.
Yeah, I always
Hardcore.
try like, yeah,
You just already jump off the cliff right away.
yeah, it's like without parachute. Who needs
Yeah,
parachute?
yeah.
I'm just like, what do you think about the economy of this country? Good. What do you think about this and that measure? And they're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna ghosting this guy. There is no point of
Yeah.
this.
There's no, hey, how are you?
No,
How's your day been going? No.
it's just straight to the point, trying to figure out solutions to the questions that I have.
Okay. Well, maybe, I mean, probably somewhere out there, there's somebody who will appreciate that.
Maybe.
And do you have a favorite holiday in England?
How so? Can you?
Like a holiday that they celebrate that you don't celebrate in Portugal?
I'm truly like not aware of what's happening. I'm always working, no matter if holidays or not. So
Okay.
I just don't pay too much attention to like breaks. I'm like, yeah, I will have the breaks at my time. I don't truly pay
Okay.
attention.
All right. Because so I just had in my last recording, I talked to somebody in Portugal, and she said in Portugal there's this music,
Mm,
the Day of Music, where everybody celebrates it, like the whole country.
mm.
And so I was wondering if like England has like a nice
Yeah.
celebration of the birthday of the king. I don't
Yeah.
know.
He doesn't. I don't know him, so I'm fine with him
Okay,
having
so
his birthday.
did you though change your interest in certain things that are like more British now? Like, for example, the royals?
No, I couldn't care less. I was just like,
Mm?
yeah, it doesn't change my life. So anything that changed my life, yes, I care. Anything that doesn't, I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna bother trying to figure out this.
Uh-huh. Okay, that's fair. And what about, well, you just said you're gonna move soon. Do you feel like at home?
That's hard because it has home. The designation of home has a lot of connotations. I would say so because with this move, I'm gonna be with my best friends in here. So
Uh-huh.
that's kind of there is this saying. I don't know if it's Portuguese or from other countries, but there is this saying that's like best friends or friends are the family that you choose.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, in certain way, I feel that I will be close to home because I am with the family that I choose, and I feel welcome in here. So.
Uh-huh. And how did you make those friends?
My best friend I made through like my cybersecurity course, which we're
Uh-huh.
studying at the same degree. Both nerds, both
Uh-huh.
just huge nerds on computers. Like anything that is computer wise is just like, yeah, another thing. So we connected straight away, and then we found out that we like that metal, and so everything that is metal connect like related, we just go to see it like concerts, everything.
Sure.
So yeah.
Sure. But that is nice though, because probably you have like a bigger more shows available to you
Yeah.
then. What is your favorite band?
At the moment, I would say Bad Omens. They are
That almost,
very
oh,
good.
you are like into heavy metal,
Yes, yes.
like old school, like Glory Hammer.
I've heard of them. Yes, I
Okay,
just
so I mean, just from the name,
yeah.
it sounds very singing about unicorns and dragons.
Fair. I want to see. I don't know if you know that band because they tour a long time in the US. Dragon Force.
Dragon Force, yes, of
Yeah,
course.
I went to see them a few weeks ago, and I love them so much. I didn't know about them, and I was like, "How did I miss this
I
band?"
think my husband, he went to a concert of them like a few years ago, and I don't know, there were like people dressed up in unicorn costumes.
Yeah, this
Because
is
I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Okay, got it. All right. So you're
yeah.
huge metalheads and
Yeah.
nerds.
So it makes sense. The gray colors and everything starts everything to make sense now.
But your green shirt still throws me off.
It was the only thing available in my wardrobe today.
Okay. And how did you manage to make other friends?
Some of them through comedy, through performing.
Mm-hmm.
You meet all these comedians, and it's like, oh, we all weirdos. Nice. Let's make a group.
Yeah.
So I think every friend that I have is just like a bit of a weirdo, and I'm like, another one. Nice. Let's make a pact.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So just be one nice weird group.
yeah,
Yeah. Not well. Whatever. It doesn't. Well, right. Whatever works.
yeah. It's a,
How do people usually react when they find out you're from Portugal? Do they wonder, hey, what brings you here?
No, they wonder more how my English is more fluent than some British people. That's what
Oh,
I
that's a
get.
compliment. Yes.
Yeah. Because I get that a lot when I perform. People know, oh, you're foreigner. Oh, nice, your English is good. That's always the compliment. I'm like, nice, I guess. Thank you. I just
Uh-huh.
put the efforts into it. Like everything that I do, I just put the efforts. So it's nice when you receive compliments like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the mainly question, or them trying to wondering like, what's my nationality because of my accent. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's
I
always
was wondering
happening.
that too in the beginning. I'm like, I have no idea. Uh-huh. And do you have also a lot of friends that are from like international friends?
I think most of my friends are from different countries, yes. Like
Uh-huh.
my best friend is from Romania. It's a
Okay.
similar culture, so like I found that it's easier sometimes to make friends with other cultures because we can relate more than with British people.
Is it because you just like talking BS about the British a
Ah,
little bit?
sort of. I don't know. I think it's just like
I don't mean it in a bad way.
yeah.
You know, uh it's like when I meet some like my friend who is from whatever another country in Europe, we always it always comes up, you know, it
Mm.
always like, oh yeah, here I don't get it, why don't they do it like we do it in Europe, you know.
No, I just feel, and you mentioned a good point. I just feel that I relate more with like people that work hard, that are like workaholics. So it's like cultures that are around that, and not everyone in the UK or British is like lazy, but most of them are very lazy in towards of like
Huh.
following their goals, following their dreams. So everything that is like not that, I'm like, yeah, just I can't connect with it.
Do you have a theory why that is?
Not really. I never thought about it. I just
Because
follow.
like usually my theory is always like people who are from like a warmer climate country, you know, they're like more relaxed, they're like, oh yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. And like people who are like from cold climate, they're like, oh, I don't have anything to do anyway because I cannot go outside and enjoy the weather, let's just do it now. So I thought the Brits are also whatever, look more like go-getters.
No, I would say that is more like they grew up in a situation that they have more things available to them than, for example, Portugal. Even if Portugal is a nice country to visit, but like the economy is not the best, so you need to work harder to be able to buy stuff, to have stuff. So I come from that culture of
Mm.
having to work hard to get anything
Hmm.
in life. So I relate more to that than just like, oh yeah, something will come here, like the benefits or something. I'm like, yeah, that's now how I work.
Okay. So you just think the social the social benefits there are given and everybody wants to, I don't know, take advantage of it. I don't want to phrase it like this, but
I
they
I
don't
don't
have
know
to
if
worry about it more
I don't
like.
think if it's the social benefits, but like maybe the life is more easier that they don't need to worry constantly.
Mm,
While in other
okay.
countries you'll need to like work hard to be able to be someone in life. So
Uh-huh.
even here when I'm working, I'm like, yeah, this can go away tomorrow, so I'm gonna work harder and harder
Uh-huh.
compared to like other cultures that is just like, yeah, let's just relax. This will be here tomorrow. I just don't have that mindset in me.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like something that you personally have really strong. Did you like grow up like this?
Yeah, all my family is just like hard workers, just like
Mhm.
medium class, like not poor, but like in a medium class that to get there,
Uh-huh.
everything that they got was like through hard
Hard
work.
work, yes. Yes, I know my family is very similar too. You know, working, working, working all the time.
And even when, I don't know about your family, but like even on the holidays that they have, they don't stop. They still work in their stuff, like around the house. It's just like,
They
just
can
rest
never
a bit.
stop. They can never stop, but I have it too. Like I mean, I cannot sit still, like,
Yeah.
I have to do this. I just have to do that. It's like you always find something.
But yeah, I start to understand that as like I'm the same. I'm just like, oh, I'm recording this, I'm doing this podcast, I'm traveling to do this project. I'm like everywhere. And when I don't have project, I'm like, I hate this life of being here, just sleeping all day. This is not for me.
What, that's just like hanging out on the couch and watching a movie. Ugh. Sounds
No, I just
horrible.
a bit.
All right, I guess I got all my questions. All right, thank you so much for being on my podcast. It was really nice to meet you.
Thank you very much.
That was Stea. And find the link for his YouTube channel in the show notes. It's called Stea Productions. You will also see like some of his stand-up on this on his channel. And I think there is also one where he jokes about like being a foreigner in England. So yeah, definitely check it out. In the show notes, you will also find the contact for me. So if you want to be a guest on my podcast, then please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to hear your story. And I guess I already said everything in the beginning of this podcast. Like, don't forget to subscribe and all this. But anyway, I hope you tune in again next week. Episodes are always out on Thursday. Until then, bye.